Hello, my name's Dale Hawthorne and welcome to my channel. This message is entitled God's Best for You, maybe somewhere else than you are right now. So, years ago, I happened to turn to the 700 Club, and Pat Robertson was having a discussion with Christy Watts, who was the co-host at the time, and this was a long time ago, and they were answering a question of someone who was experiencing in their town some really dark and hateful rumors. And so Pat and Christy had two separate pieces of advice. Pat's first advice was to find a new place to live where no one knows you. And that was actually decent advice. And Christy Watts, who was younger, and said, stay and fight. And Pat said, yeah, you're feisty. But they're both decent alternatives how to deal with situations which you're the frog in the kettle, but you've noticed that it's coming to the boiling point and you need to get away. You may need to move away from a crowd which is targeting you. You may have little of a support network of left because one of the things when malicious people target other people, they may seek to undermine their reputation and destroy their personal support network, family and friends, with false and hateful rumors. So I came up with this graphic. This is originally going to be part of a thumbnail, but if this describes you, you're trying to build something and are surrounded by a horrible crowd, nothing you do is right, constant criticism, constant puts downs. If this picture, you feel like you're that guy sitting in the middle, this may be the video for you. So continuing onward, but please click like and subscribe. Yeah, if this is helpful, please share it with others. So years ago, I was dealing with a situation where it seemed like I really couldn't get ahead very much. So as I was reading in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, I came to Genesis chapter 26. Starting in verse 17, and we'll look at that situation. Isaac, the son of Abraham, and the wells of Rehoboth. Now, what's Rehoboth? We'll come to that. So Isaac departed from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar and settled there. We have a pretty good idea what area this is. This would have been southwestern Israel, not too far away from Gaza. And Isaac dug again with the wells of water that had been dug in the days of Abraham his father, and the Philistines had stopped after the death of Abraham, and he gave them the names his father had given them. But when Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found there a well of spring water, the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, this water is ours. So he called the name of the well Esek, because they contended with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that also. So he called his name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called his name Rehoboth, saying, now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be made fruitful in the land. Verse 22 there. The Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. That's what I want you to pay the most attention to. That may be what you need to pray for, look for. A place where you have room and where you can flourish in the land. A place away from that conflict. If you feel God's telling you to remain in that conflict, go ahead. I'm not going to discourage you. But if you're praying about this, considering the way, maybe you need to look for a place you can call Rehoboth, a place with room for you to flourish. And this can happen if in your life you're seeking to escape other people with, might call them strong personalities, strong wills, or maybe even strong delusions, trying to control you through threats, anger, and ostracism. Neil Anderson once wrote in one of his books about a church which had a history of letting in leaders, strong personalities they called it, hyper-confident posturing, rather than proven Christian character. And we do have an unhealthy number of these people coming into the church. I think that I've done videos on this before where they see that they see the Christians as weak and gullible and easy targets and victims for what they want to do. My belief is that a number of them simply aren't saved. They're simply opportunists putting on spiritual language, wolves in sheep's clothing. And these situations with meeting them may be wolf encounters. I got a previous video also on a person being targeted by a Saul. Saul, the king of the Old Testament, being targeted by a Saul like David was during the years that David was on the run before Saul was killed in battle and David ascended to be the king. And you might find people pursuing you, trying to give you a hard time, like Saul was pursuing David. People who pursue others with letters, that's something which has happened for years in the church. V. Raymond Edmond, who was president of, in the past, of Wheaton College, he and his wife Edith had an influence on Billy Graham when Billy Graham was at Wheaton, and he had spoken one of his books, or wrote one of his books about the letter writing campaigns or emails. They may be coming through emails or messages, or maybe they're speaking to people behind your back, giving you the real lowdown on what's happening with you, and it's all malicious. It may be de facto, according to the law, slander and defamation. And also, I'm going to have another video on this, but I believe it's also, if they're in a position of authority or management, it's indication of their personal incompetence that they shouldn't be in that position. They shouldn't be putting together a dossier on you of the things that others, when they think are wrong and why you shouldn't be doing anything you do. But if anyone is stalking you from place to place with a dossier of all the things that you're doing wrong, trying to poison the well in your life, slander and defamation, as well as anti-stalking laws, may apply. And one of the reasons I bring this up is someone who's trying to escape a cultist church, a pastor who won't let go, an abusive leader, an abusive manager, may need to speak to a lawyer about whether anti-stalking laws, slander, and defamation apply in that situation. So what are you looking for? What would a place, a Rehoboth, look like? Well, I got another picture for you. Another one which I was going to use for a thumbnail, but use it right here. Young man trying to build something, and the crowd around him is giving him approval. Thumbs up. Yeah, that may be what you're looking for. A place where you can build without conflict, where others don't take it personally, where you can choose your own vocation, your own spouse, the place to settle, where and what you do, even if it conflicts with their ideas for you, there'll be a support network. They'll seek and pray with you, and they'll not seek to poison the well or sabotage your plans. So no one's employment, marriage, or ministry should depend on having to counter a smear campaign, considering what the laws say in the United States and elsewhere about slander, defamation, and stalking, or in the church where those people will be reporting to Jesus personally on each one of those things, and they're not going to find him being gullible and weak in dealing with things which he is forbidden in his word. No one should have to counter in the church, in leadership, in ministry, or even just finding a church where you can sit and hear and worship the Lord without having someone else blindsiding you You shouldn't have to appease a raging critic with unscriptural expectations who thinks that you are beneath them and that you report to them. This is an Old Testament picture of Saul the king as David had to encounter a wolf in sheep's clothing, as Jesus said, a ravenous wolf, as Paul wrote about them, spoke about them. That wasn't a figure he used in his letters I can recall, but he did use it in Acts chapter 20 in speaking to the elders from the city of Ephesus about ravenous wolves. So, another graphic. Get up and move on if you need to. This was another thumbnail which came up, but if this is a picture of you, gather what you have, move away from the wreckage, move on, find the Rehoboth, trust in God. And your ultimate best lies ahead with Jesus. Whether you choose to stay or whether you choose to go and find your Rehoboth, a place where you can flourish, apart from being the target of all that nastiness. So, wherever you go, though, there's one place for you to go, and the final graphic, the final image, talk to Jesus about the whole way. Speak about him. Let him heal your broken heart, bind up your wounds, give you the guidance which you need. Find your strength in his love for you, in being close to him. And the more you get close to him, the less the others will start to matter, and especially over time. But still, this may be a situation which you need to leave, which you need to find a place wide enough with room where you can flourish in your life, and that may be somewhere else in the situation you are right now. So God bless you. I hope this helps you. I would encourage you to pray, seek his word, seek his wisdom. So God bless you, and thank you for your attention and your time.